Well, it was just 8 days ago that Jay Glazer of Fox said that Frank Reich of the Panthers occupied the hottest seat in the NFL. And I wrote an item at PFT yesterday morning raising the question of whether or not Panthers under David Tepper really would fire Reich after only one season. Well, I was wrong. They didn't fire him after one season. He fired him during the first season. It's the third straight year a coach has been fired during his first season on the job. It started 2 years ago with Urban Meyer of the Jaguars. Then last year, Nathaniel Hackett fired by the Broncos. And now this year, out goes Frank Reich during his first year with the Carolina Panthers. And look, I've said this before, I'll say it again. David Tepper is too involved with this team. I know he thinks because he's made billions in another industry, it's translatable, it's transferable, and he can be successful just by really wanting it and really working hard. Well, David, let me speak to you directly here. It doesn't work that way. You're competing with others who have done the same thing you've done. They've made billions elsewhere. They think it looks easy because they've been fans their whole life. It's not easy. It's not simple. It's not just a matter of wanting it bad, of working hard, of dropping an F-bomb loudly when you leave the locker room because your team lost. You need to hire people you trust and let them do the job and stay out of their way. Don't nudge them toward Bryce Young because you know you did. You know you did. They would have taken C.J. Stroud if you hadn't interfered with the process. Frank Reich is not a 5'10" guy. He was a 6-foot+ quarterback. He knows you need to have size to be successful in the NFL. But he went along. You go along to get along, and then you're long gone like he is. And that's what's going to make it even harder moving forward for the Panthers. Who's going to take that job? Who's going to want to work for David Tepper? Who's going to want to step into the shoes of Frank Reich, preceded by Matt Rule, preceded by Ron Rivera? It's not an attractive job unless David Tepper grossly overpays, which is what he's going to have to do. So he's already buying out Frank Reich. And I think he got lucky with Matt Rule landing in Nebraska that he may not owe him that much, if anything. But he's going to owe Frank Reich a lot of money. He's going to have to go hire another coach. Who knows what happens with Scott Fitterer? And it's just going to continue. There's an MLS team in Charlotte now that Tepper owns. They've been around for 2 years, and he's had two coaches. And he just fired a guy that made it to the postseason earlier this month. He needs to chill. He needs to relax. And the problem is Panthers fans are stuck with David Tepper as the owner because, as Jed York, the 49ers CEO, famously said or infamously said several years ago, you can't fire the owner, even if you wish you could. And that's the problem. The Panthers are stuck. I feel bad for Panthers fans. They're stuck with an owner who doesn't get it. Now, will he learn? Will he grow? Will he become more patient? Will he give his next coach a little more time on the job? Will he just try to avoid owing millions more in a buyout? I don't know. But here's the problem. You just spent the first overall pick in the draft and gave up a lot to get there, including what may be the first overall pick next year to get Bryce Young. How do you know the next coach is even going to want Bryce Young? How are you gonna find a coach who will truthfully tell you, yeah, I want Bryce Young? When we see what happens with plenty of teams, coach comes in and through time, he moves away from the quarterback that was there and he moves toward the quarterback that he would want. So this just introduces a bunch of factors that a team that's trying to compete doesn't need. And the one factor it doesn't need is an owner that just holds on too tight, tries too hard, thinks he can make the difference, and doesn't get out of the way and let his football operation get it done. So I feel bad for Panthers fans. I don't feel bad for David Tepper. He's still making billions. Even if the Panthers stink, he's still going to make financially a ton of money owning the Panthers. The problem is the wins aren't going to be there until he learns how to get out of the way and trust his football people to do what they have spent their entire lives doing.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.